And where did we get this term happy wife, happy life? Because I've always been like,
crazy.
fuck that shit.
Again,
Gosh.
that's just being a nice guy.
But the question is, why is it not getting promoted? It's plenty of
Because
women
we have a bunch of men that don't want to do it.
What you mean?
Oh.
Yes, no, yeah, I'm saying yes. Because every time we try to bring it up, we try to bring it back to the men. That's the reason why it's not shown a lot of people, because nobody wants to talk about it, and they're angels. No, we're messed up, they're messed up too.
My daughter wanted me around. So it's not just about the flexibility of having your wife and everything to stay home, but the presence of the father in the household. That's just not out working and stuff all the time. Like sometimes, man, you got to be there to be like, yo, all right, sit y'all asses down.
Category of beauty. They're trying to be beautiful. So
How much time we got, yo?
Right, hold on.
Wait, we'll go back to
sponsors.
yeah, go ahead, be back. Let's go. How y'all doing today? FMF Podcast back in the building.
Yes, indeed.
Today, as y'all see, we in an undisclosed location. A little something different today. I mean, different location. We got my boy Keith with us this time again. Welcome back.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you, man. This link's gonna put in the bottom because you see he always spitting some fire when he come on this podcast with us. It's Trey here. We got Paul.
Yes, sir.
Undisclosed location, and we're gonna do something a little bit different today. We're gonna do a little bit of reaction. Little kind of reaction. We wanted to tap into community, relationships, and to see what the men have to say about a young lady by the name of Sister Shahrazad Ali. I hope I said that right. She's an activist, Muslim young lady, and she had some interesting points that I came across. I'm introducing it to them. I think, Keith, you know Luz.
I've seen a little bit of her clips on Instagram, but not a full interview.
Not too much.
Yeah, not too much.
So this is a little bit different. I don't think Trey, they kind of know of it, but they haven't really seen her. So this is kind of some raw material. I've seen a few of her things, but I haven't seen this one. I guess I gotta say fair use and everything. But we're gonna put the link to the original video. This is supposed to be hard. I think it got about 50 minutes on it. Y'all take a look. Y'all can look at the whole clip on there. And we're going to take bits and pieces and we're going to react a little bit to it. We want to see how this young lady is moving. She has a few books.
Yeah. How the black man how the black woman.
Exactly. I'm going to put it up here somewhere. I'm going to try to put it up on here. She has a few books. We're going to put the links to there too if y'all want to pick up her books. We're going to give everybody a shout out on this one.
Right.
So we're going to play this video. We're going to see how it goes and we'll talk a little bit. Stop in between, give some thoughts on how we feel about this, man. But enough said about the intro, man. Let's go ahead and get right to the video.
Hottest properties making the talk show circuit, Shahrazad Ali. An established writer indeed, Ms. Ali is best known as the author of The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. A very controversial and, if I may say so, a very critical view of life of today's black woman. She joins us today in our studio, and of course we'd like to welcome you today to Vibrations.
Well, thank you, Raven, for inviting me.
Basically, it's your premise that the black woman is out of sync with the natural order of things. Can you explain that?
Well, it's a very sensitive subject, and certainly I believe that I have tried to approach it from a very sensitive angle. What I have actually said is that the black woman's disrespect and rebellion against the leadership and the authority of the black man is a direct cause of the breakdown in the black family structure. It's not an attack on us as black women. It's just saying that in the breakdown of any relationship, both parties have to take responsibility. And as black women, we have been protected and insulated from any kind of examination about what our share of the responsibility is in the breakdown of the black family. My book represents the first platform, certainly, that the black man has ever had to air his grievances about the black woman, because no one would ever listen to him. They have only listened to us.
Can you tell us a little bit about the book itself?
That's the first minute and 30. Oh, man. She said a lot in that one. How y'all?
I want to hear more. I want to hear where you're going with everything.
First and foremost, I agree.
Gosh.
I just want to say before we continue on, nobody here is a misogynist because I know how
No.
it's gonna be taken.
Yeah, no, this is a reaction.
We're gonna let her tell it.
Well, actually, it was my first book. In 1985, I authored How Not to Eat Pork or Life Without the Pig. And at that time, I was going around doing what I was calling Get Off That Hog lectures. And during my travels, I noted that I would take the microscope and show people how you can't kill the trichina worm in pork by cooking it. Heat was not destroying the worm, and I would show them, the difference, and demonstrate how FDA was now using radiation to try to kill the worms in pork because cooking was not working, which is what we had always been told. And during that time, a lot of black men were in agreement to get off eating pork. They wanted to change their eating habits, and they were happy to find out some information that might possibly save their lives. But it was black women who were the most adamant, who refused to change meal planning techniques, seasoning food, cooking techniques. And so I said, it's interesting. I said, if we are refusing to provide the black man with the proper physical food when we know that food is what sustains life, then what else are we withholding from him? Possibly there are some other areas, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, that we are affecting his behavior by what we do or what we withhold and refuse to give. And that led me to try to find out. We've always heard that the black man leaves the black family, abandons his woman and children, won't take care of the children, won't work, stays out all night, turns into a drunk, takes drugs. We've heard a lot of negative things. Most of them are true. But I wanted to find out what happens before he gets to that point. What leads up to the breakdown? We've never gone back to try to find out what happens in the relationship between the black man and a black woman that makes him go off and do all of these bad things. To assume that this is just normal, natural behavior for black men would be to assume that he is naturally bad. And I do not believe that the man that God gave to us as a mate is a naturally bad person. And so I wanted to try to examine what goes on with him.
The food connection with the mind,
right,
is what I'm getting from that, and the diet and how it affects people's way of thinking and their health along with that. So her saying that the woman is not receptive to changing the food, and they the ones supposed to be
feeding us.
Exactly. I'm interested.
To piggyback off that about what she said about hogs, I just started reading How to Eat to Live. The book just came in the mail the other day, and one of the first chapters is he talks about Elijah Muhammad talks about why the Muslims don't eat pork and whatnot. And also to Paul's point, how food affects the mind. I heard, or I read that us eating meat in general, like there's blood in the meat.
Exactly.
And the blood affects whatever, some stuff in our brain and whatnot. That's why
it's such a big thing, and I read that too. It's just it's really hard to get off meat. I tried it on my YouTube channel. We tried for a year of vegan, just to see how it would go, so I can tell my clients if that's what they want to do. There's pros and cons to it. I wouldn't say it's the best diet, and I wouldn't say it's the worst diet, but I know I was craving a burger. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll tell you the truth. I wanted a steak. I wanted some chicken wings. I wanted everything. So I big ups to anybody that goes vegan. She said the point out is the backlash that she said that she had got. I mean, we all love, at one point I loved pork, bacon, and anything like that. But he got to a point where he had to talk to certain men, and they was like, they okay with it. But the point is, the women didn't want to get on her side. That's the messed up part.
Especially coming from a woman.
Women are less likely to change. Men are, from what I learned, men are more adaptable, and that's why they cater us to the leadership role, is because we can adapt, we can adjust, we can keep moving forward. Right. Versus, this change, I don't like this change. I don't want to move too quickly or none of that. What I want to point out is I love the emphasis, like, because I saw it too, even growing up. It's like, I'm a black man, you know what I'm saying? So when you say all of these types of things, I don't align with them. And you trying to, stereotype me as, more than likely you're going to have a baby mama, more than likely, all this stuff. And I'm like, that ain't my goal. That ain't what I want. So where does this come from? I like the fact that she brought up, like, you saw it. Like, if you're not willing to do just this part, imagine what else you're withholding. Imagine what else is going on. And let's unravel this. Where did it start? You know what I'm saying? Because we come from kings and queens, so
had to start. Where did it start?
Where did it start?
Like, he's messed up. Okay, he's messed up. but how did he get that way? That question's never been asked a lot.
Right.
Why is he that way?
Mm-hmm.
Her emphasis is saying that we learn from the women.
Yeah.
Yes, that was it.
And to piggyback off that, a lot of the stigma in the society is now like women like are, you know, what's the word? Women are the ones being held down and, you know, prejudiced against not being protected and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think women understand the I don't think I want to use the word power, but the influence they have over their men, especially in the black community.
Yeah,
like I feel like men shape a lot of the way they are based on
because of women.
Yeah,
it's because of women. Most of us, what are we trying to provide?
Yeah,
for
women.
What are we protect? Women. What is the standards of a man? What is it for? To uphold the structure and all that.
Yeah.
It's for the women.
Right.
They got more power than they know they have.
Exactly.
But I want to kind of adjust what you was talking about.
Yeah, adjust me, bro.
I think.
Pause.
Yeah.
Just me.
Because I don't want one of those. Yeah, pause. But I think what it is, our last episode, go check that out. The childhood. I think the issue come from the childhood, but women seem to be that trigger.
Right.
That triggers something that insecurities within us. The women seem to bring that out, but I think it really stemmed from childhood, and then the women kind of, or our relationships kind of trigger that insecurity. So I just wanted to kind of say that.
I agree and disagree in a relationship. Yeah, it stemmed from childhood on a personal level, but in the relationship, I like the fact that she pointed out, and we all said this like heavily, is both sides got to take accountability.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Both sides got to take accountability.
It's been one-sided for a long time.
And once you're an adult, you got to take accountability for yourself. And even today, you hear any type of domestic violence, they always go straight to the girl, go straight to the woman.
Let's see what else she got for us, man. Because
338.
You to write this book?
Oh, no, certainly not. I think they were just as surprised as black women. Many of them approached the title of the book with a little apprehension because they have not had a champion. We have never had a black woman who actually stood up and said, I'm standing up for the black man's side of the story. We know what our side is, and both sides are true. We have done some very dreadful things to each other. And I don't exonerate black men, which is kind of a misconception that people have. I just say that we know his side. What about our side? And we do have a side. We have adopted some wrong standards. We are judging our men many times by the wrong value system. We are using his children sometimes against him. We have been told that the only benefit that a black man provides in a home is money, and if he does not give us money to take care of those kinds of financial provisions, that he has no value. And what my research has proven to me is that a black man, any man in any home provides much more than financial support. The man provides guidance, instruction, discipline for the children, which we sorely need in our black homes. He provides gratification, fulfillment, protection. I mean, there's so many other values, and these values are the ones that are missing in our children today, which is.
This 1991.
This is not. Can you imagine? Like you imagine her talking like this in '91 by herself like this?
30 years ago.
Applause to her to have these gonads or whatever, just to do something like this in '91 and say these things.
And think about the strength of the woman. You know what I'm saying? And this is like what we talking about, like that strength that women have that they can give to a man. Like you. If I had a woman like this, I feel like I can accomplish anything. And that's why I talk about the support, 100%. The support that she give to the man, and she said that like, we wrong too. It's a two-sided equation. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we trying to put all the blame on the woman, right? And we can't just accept all the blame. But just to have somebody that she talk about like that support and the love and the femininity within her, I can just feel it, and it make you want to stop and just listen. You know what I'm saying? Because you think we four guys listening to a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And about what she telling us about other women and how they can improve, but then also what we can improve on. Because I'm pretty sure she's probably gonna touch on that.
This podcast is about men's
improvement.
Right
it's about us.
I want to open this up, right? we all have grown from this, right? But go back to episode, I think it was 9, Unconditional Love Part 2.
Oh yeah.
What did I say? What did I say?
Come on, man.
Which one did I say? Which one? I said a lot. I said a lot on that episode. I don't figure out what. I stand by. We growing.
Right.
What was it I say?
You say, if that man ain't making no money, she ain't gonna love you. You got to be providing something. And you know, like it was all catered to
Oh,
the value was catered to the money.
Yeah, but I still kind of stand behind it though, a little bit.
Part of it.
It's a part. I should have said that. It's not everything, but it is a part.
Right. Yeah. That's why I was talking about. Like we provide more. And like I said, we've opened up. He's already said it. I'm not bashing my guy. He already said it. Like we provide structure. When we said the very next episode was the principles of a man, and we was talking about what we provide, and talk about protection, structure, discipline. He said these types of things. So I'm not bashing my guy, but we just giving an example. Like automatically, when we think of when us black men already so bashed that when we think of going into a relationship, that like it's automatic. Like I gotta have money, or else that woman is not gonna value me. And it's not that money is not a necessity, because the man is going to be capable of making money. He's going to go make some money. But the woman need to know how to support that man more than just saying what we don't have, more than just saying what you aren't and what you haven't done. That is not support. I don't like that.
At all.
I don't like that.
I may slow it down a little bit and stop it. I mean, y'all gonna have to forgive me because she's giving us a lot in just 30 seconds. So we might slow down even more just to really pick apart what she's really saying, because I want men to really sit down and listen to what this young lady has to say, because the emphasis on, he said it there, both of us are wrong, but we have to fix both sides.
Yes.
That's why I'm put a lot of emphasis on. This is she's talking, don't get it wrong, she's getting all up in the women right now, so a little bit pussy. Most of it. But it never takes it off on us. We ain't gonna never say that. Alright? So don't try to sit there all happy like, yeah, get the girls. No. She's still going back to us. We don't do that here. We all even around here, man. Let's go and get back into it.
Disrespectful, don't have any regard for anyone. And most of us are scared of them, and everybody else is, because nobody has a way into them to try to gain any control over them. So I maintain that a return to traditional family values, certain clearly defined gender responsibilities for black men and black women in running a home and a relationship will help us to produce a better child. And if we produce a better child, certainly we'll have a better future and a better nation.
And saying
that's why I want to stop right there. Community. It takes when they say it takes a village to raise a kid, I really believe that. And you can call me misogynistic if you want to, I don't care. But I really believe that a structure will work better if, when it starts off as a man taking his time and getting his finances together, as my boy Keith said in the past, getting your stuff together, so when you do obtain your wife, you can have the option to make sure she can sit at home, or she can get some of that stress off of her so she can be able to raise your kids correctly. It's a lot to put on a woman to work so much and do so many things. The number one teacher to a kid is going to be the woman.
And I'm gonna chime in because I'm the only one that got the kid.
That too.
And I wasn't financially ready.
Uh-huh.
And we talked about it on the last podcast, you know what I'm saying, as far as like my daughter wanted me around. So it's not just about the flexibility of having your wife and everything stay home, but the presence of the father in the household. That's just not out working and stuff all the time. Like sometimes, man, you gotta be there to be like, yo, all right, sit y'all asses down. You know what I'm saying? Like that, you gotta have that present in the household. So yeah, you can make all the money in the world, but if you don't got that father figure presence in the house, that's present, that's active, it's gonna be tough. Especially for the discipline side of it, for the kids and everything, man. So that's why I think
should wait. You should wait. I mean, not wait, but you should be financially okay and steady so you can be able to spend some time with your kids.
I told myself I wasn't gonna have another kid, so I making over $100,000 a year.
Smart man.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you want to chill with some time.
I want to spend time with my kids, man.
Exactly. It takes a village. So if you got both parents working 60 hours a week, you just giving the kid off to anybody, and you try to figure out what happened. You don't even know what happened because you ain't with them all the time. And you know, I mean, so you can't. That makes a lot of sense.
It's like, oh well, I don't really know what happened. You know what I'm saying? The child looking at you as just a discipline in a negative sense versus this is the father and I love him and I want to listen to him. What is it for? I kind of played played that role as the male figure in my brother's life. When I would come around, he's like, all right, now I need to be good. And like he'll tighten up when I'm there versus this is instilled in you.
Exactly.
You know, I want to emphasize community when they say it takes a village. I remember, and I know a lot of old school, I remember if I got in trouble out here, then that adult can say something to me, tighten me up. You know what I'm saying? Then when mama see me, she tighten me up. And then when if father figure, he tighten me up. Grandma tighten me up. Everybody, when it's a village, and it's not just about whooping.
It's not whooping.
It's about the structure that we talked about. Like certain principles, it's not gonna break. It's not gonna fold. You know what I mean? Like everybody has this standard. Like you still raise your family how you want to raise them, but as far as community and what's right and supposed to be instilled in a child, that doesn't break. Like you're not gonna be talking back to an adult. Okay, well you're not gonna be, like acting out. Like, all right, look, if your mother said get up, and the father's not there, there's still another male present. Like y'all in the store, you know what I mean? And the kid acting out, and another male, don't talk. Nowadays, don't talk to my kid like that. Even though the kid is wilding out, I see kids hitting the mothers now. Oh my goodness, that's wow.
Man, you crazy.
Wow.
You got something to say about that, Keeks, man?
Hey, I'm taking this all in, especially when it comes to the subject of raising, little humans or whatnot. Because y'all know me, the idea of being a father is like something that's not at the forefront of my mind.
Right.
But
we're gonna get him change his mind, man. We need.
No, my mind is. I'm learning so much because for me, my thing is I want to be so ready because I grew up with a father that was not ready to have children, and I don't want to repeat that mistake.
Yeah.
So I tap in with my boy Paul here, and the way I practice, I kind of adopt my homeboys or my friends' children as my nieces and nephews, and just go from there.
Practice.
Yeah. Shout out to Keeks, man. He got my daughter. My daughter want to vlog. He got my daughter a camera stand, and the light on it. She was playing around with that thing all day, bro.
That's
all
good,
day,
man.
bro. So shout out to Keeks, man.
I'm just part of the
takes a village, bro. It takes a village.
Well, let's go and see what else you got to say. Let's see.
And having, if I may say, the courage to write this book and stand by it, you've caused a stir. This book is very controversial. What are you hearing from public reaction?
Well, I don't think that it's an issue among black women about whether or not the book is true or not. The issue is that I was not supposed to tell. These are inside secrets and things that we have never let our men know about. And many times we say? He can't handle me. Well, many times he can't handle us because he doesn't know what it is he's trying to handle. He doesn't understand what motivates us. We have become very adept, many of us, as being able to do something right in front of his eyes and then convince him that that's not what he really saw at all and that it didn't happen. So we've kept him kind of confused.
Excuse me, do you realize that there are many bookstores, and in particular black bookstores, that have refused to carry the Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman?
I think that that's been overblown. Right now, the book is carried in over 5,000 bookstores here in this country and about 2,000 abroad. The book is becoming a bestseller in London. And to date, we only know of 2 bookstores in the entire country who refuse to carry the book.
May I tell you that there is at least one in Tallahassee.
There may be, but they're lost if they're doing that.
The response we got from that book owner was that your book had nothing, absolutely nothing constructive.
Was that a woman who gave you those comments?
Yes, it was.
Oh, how surprising. Okay.
Let's talk about some of the things that seem to be upsetting people, or that people are talking
there
about.
There certainly have been a lot of things taken out of context. Anyone who's ever looked at me or seen, witnessed some of the talk shows, they actually exploit a lot of issues. They take them out of context. They want to sensationalize them to build up their ratings to have a good show. So I really appreciate this opportunity to just sit down and have a fireside chat about the book.
Well, I'm glad you're
without
here.
all the fireworks and everything.
You say black women, and I quote you as saying, nag, nag, nag. And that we are essentially responsible for pushing our men away by doing so.
A lot of times we take a position because of our own emotional mechanisms. We harass our men too much. We nag our men too much, and we keep his mind and his head so bundled up and bogged down with all of our personal idiosyncrasies about our day-to-day personal relationship with him that a lot of times we don't free his mind up to go out and to plan sanely for our future and for the future of our children. Many of them come to us every day and they almost have to do a wind test. They don't know what's going on. They don't know who they're going to meet because we have a lot of reactions.
Woo, right there, that one was good.
I wanted to finish.
Have y'all experienced something like that? As in when she said we don't know what their temper is. We don't know what their level is. So before you come to the house, you doing a wind test.
You walking on eggshells.
Have you guys experienced that before?
Not really.
Really?
Not really.
Hey,
Like
I'm being. Now this is all perspective. That's why I'm
being dead honest. Like, to be honest, I probably was the moody one in most of my relationships. But I think what it was, I was so caught up in myself, so I wasn't worried about how she was feeling. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? So I was really detached. So a lot of times, I was considered the moody one. I was considered the one like, yo, I'm walking on eggshells around him, right? Kind of, sort of, because also I was so busy working, so I wasn't home that much. So it's funny because I'm like, yo, I really haven't experienced like
this ain't 100%. I haven't experienced probably some people, some not.
But let's translate. Let's like compare that. Do you think that's what the women are experiencing? Like, are they like so into themselves that they're not aware that?
I can't tell you, bro, because I'm not a woman. I don't really know.
True.
What was you dating? Women? Have you experienced that?
Nah. I really haven't, bro.
He be focused on him. Especially this time, all he about was work and getting stuff in his dog. That's it.
Like, I feel like if I did experience that, I probably just fall back. You know what I'm saying? Like if I felt, I'm really trying to think. I never really dealt with a nag before, bro. In none of my relationships, in every single relationship, I never had a woman that nagged me, bro. That's crazy.
You experienced that in your dating?
Absolutely.
In the past.
Absolutely.
What do y'all mean by like nagging?
I think what she said was how she explained like we don't know what
their day to
day is. They always trying to tell us about the drama and
personal
and try to cloud us up. I don't know. I don't think I've been through. If I don't want to hear it, just keep not want to hear it.
Yeah.
It's not been like a forceful thing. Yeah.
But I think that's good on y'all part. For one, y'all are loners. You know
that's true.
For the most part of my life, I've been.
Y'all don't mind not talking, and stuff like that. So it's like
I tell them, and I'll be like, yo, like I need some space, right? Like I let them know, like, for real.
When y'all do talk, y'all talk. You know what I mean? But when it comes to the female, it's like oftentimes they feel misunderstood. Oftentimes they feel misunderstood. Like we're not paying attention to them. We don't know how to listen to them, and it's like I just don't know what you're saying. What are you like? What am I listening to? Like what's happening? What's really happening? What's the connection? And
I have experienced that. Like it's like we speak in two totally different languages. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And it's like I can have empathy for you, meaning I can have understanding that you felt some type of way about whatever it is, big or small. But I'm not gonna totally connect or agree or understand fully like exactly what you're going through. Then it's like whenever you come home, it's like here's like let me load it off on you, and it's like yo, like I'm trying to unwind or like I just was out here. So when it comes to nagging, it's like a constant like nag to me is annoyance. You know what I mean? And it's like you keep on bringing things that don't matter or trivial matters to me and my attention and want to bring them up to the forefront as if they're disappointing. But
that's what you're talking about. Yeah,
right.
You said it perfectly like that. He got other shit going on, but he said you're trying to bring what you got to the forefront. Like it's like, and that's all that matters. I think that's what she was trying to say. I think.
So I think that's where your detachment comes because you're gonna focus on the priority versus what you feeling, and you know what I'm saying. That's where y'all separate. Like fuck the feelings, like I think that's the. If I may clarify, I think that's the detach. It's like it's not that we're saying.
I agree with that.
Right.
I agree with that.
Like it's not that we're saying that the woman is not important. It's just that your matters are not important. They're important to you, and you're important to me, but that doesn't matter.
The focus is the focus.
Yeah.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like, let me pay these bills.
Right.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Like you want me to stay here and just spend time with you. You wish I could just take all this time off of work or not, you know what I'm saying, not be in the community and we trying to build. Like, but
Pick one.
you know what I mean?
I've been there.
While I'm here, nothing's moving. And then you get upset. Why we don't got no money? Why we can't do this? Because I was trying to do that, but you needed me to stay here. Oh, now. You get back out there. And then it's like a constant tug of war.
I've been there. I know what you're talking about. I've been there, man.
That's nagging. That's annoying.
Well, hey, this is a message from our sponsors. We'll be right back, man. We're going to keep digging and diving into Sister Shahrazad Ali.
You did
I
good.
got it. I practiced that before we got in here.
Shahrazad Ali.
Yeah, I said it right. All right, we back from our sponsor, man.
Anchor is a podcast platform that we are on. The FMF Podcast is on and available to you right now. We have a goal with that one. We're trying to reach over 50 listeners. So if you're busy and you can't sit here and watch the video episodes, please go to Anchor and just check it out, and you can listen to us on the go.
A successful relationship, and one where we're happy, is one where everything goes our way. And the first time it goes another kind of a way, then we go into hell, turmoil in our brain, and we start deciding, oh, I've got terrible problems with this man. He won't do what I want him to do. When our men have a side.
Let me give that side according to Shahrazad Ali, okay? You say in your book,
okay, let's
and I'm quoting you,
Come on.
okay? The black man in America is the only male.
I like what she said about the perfect relationship, because there's no such thing as a perfect relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything is always like a balance. And I have came across women, not me personally, but I've seen it, where like a dude could be trying his best and be a good dude, and because a woman didn't get her way, she like, all right, yeah, I'm done with him. Over like one thing too. Over one thing.
That'd be that nice guy.
It seems like today, in the modern black woman, it's more so they're looking to discredit you rather than credit you. You know, from off jump, that's how they're
You're looking for the flaw.
I think that's promoted.
Yeah,
that's what's promoted.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what's promoted. Yeah.
Like it. And where do we get this term happy wife, happy life? Because I've always been like, fuck that shit.
Again,
Gosh.
that's just being a nice guy. You
Yeah,
know?
I never promoted it today. That was the stupidest saying I've ever heard in my
where it
life.
came from because, back to the nice guy. The nice guy never wins.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Why the nice guy?
Never.
I get the
The
term.
majority of the
I
time.
get the term.
Uh-huh.
Because if anybody miserable in a relationship,
It's
a
not gonna
relationship gonna be miserable.
Right.
But how just cater to one side too? Because you don't want no unhappy guy around either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how just related to one side, that's messed up. But if anybody's unhappy in a relationship, that both sides suffer from that.
I get that, but it's just like one night where I want to, have relations or whatever. You ain't ready to do it. I ain't gonna leave you for that or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's just, I just think it's uneven in that sense.
I agree with
100%.
too.
I used to think like, be like that for a while. I know what you mean.
What, the happy wife, happy life thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
I never said that. Right, the camera with that one. No, the fact that that people would think that the nice guy would finish last all the time, and I used to promote to being the nice guy all the time.
Yeah.
Early years, I was semi-simpish. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
It's growth. It's growth. As I got older, I started to really get to learn from myself. That's why. I was simp. Exactly. Because I had certain type of ways until I really learned the nature of being a woman and how to be a man. So strong man, exactly. So everybody learns different ways. And I was that same guy. I'm real nice. I mean, everything goes real great. No. A lot of times, nice guy, I finish last.
And she left me for my best friend.
Oh, damn. That sound like Steph Cole. Throw Steph Cole to him. But I've been there. I understand what she's saying about that one.
So, yeah.
Trying to fuck.
Let's jump back into this.
Is the only male on earth, including every continent, who is disrespected by the women in his nation.
That's true.
This situation does not exist anyplace else among the billions of people inhabiting our planet except here in America.
That's right.
The other black men, the yellow men, the red men, the brown men, and the white men are all honored and respected by their respective nations. All other women recognize and accept that the man is the authority, the ruler, and the leader. Only here in the United States, in the black nation, scattered throughout the United States, is the black man neglected. That's pretty powerful.
And it's absolutely true. We have been displaced. A lot of us don't really understand what slavery actually did to us and how much psychological trauma it did to us regarding what our proper roles are with each other, what our responsibilities are as man and woman in our various communities and relationships. We have never been debriefed from slavery. Not really. We have just, we know we had that history, but we don't know how it affected us. We don't know how much of our actual culture we lost, how much of our ideas were taken from us. We know that our religion was taken from us. We know that our names were taken from us, but we don't know how many other standards of day-to-day life have been removed. And while we have adopted the American way of doing things, they have not worked for us because we have a very special situation. We are not the same as everyone else. And a lot of the people who want us to pretend that slavery didn't exist or to forget about it, they've never been a slave. So they don't know what we're going through. They don't know what this has done to us. It has made us as black women insecure.
Why not? Well, okay, well, if that's true.
Ooh, I have to stop right here. That's a lot to digest. It hit home where we talk about this, and man, let's slow it down because that was serious. When she said the part that the black man is the only woman other than any other nationality that don't have control kind of over our women. Not control, but we're just most disrespected, and that stands out only because, and this time I've never heard any other woman of any nationality says I don't need no man. I've never heard any other one but our women.
I heard white women say that.
Have you heard a few?
Yeah,
third way.
I think that's.
That third way feelings, but
I think that's an American
saying that. Yeah, because I don't know. Yeah, it has to be American. I ain't lived nowhere else.
Yeah. I think that's like an American thing, far as
they profit off of separation.
Yeah, they don't promote family.
Yeah,
so because it's too much money to be separated. You can get more money, two different apartments, two different apartments, two different. Everything is two. Exactly. And then you work together and save. It's a problem. And you don't add to the population. You know what I'm saying? When you break up the family,
you can keep spreading.
No, it take away from the amount of kids. I heard something. Oh, what was it? Go ahead, y'all keep talking. It went on.
That really hit too, but then she said that part, which is, I feel like they're wrong with saying that, but she had a clear point when it came to that slavery. If you think about it, when we came over here, we was already controlled by slavery, but then when we were released, we never really had the structure of seeing that we were in charge. The black man was in charge. They were in charge. So when we got released, that's a release. That sounds bad. But when we got away from slavery, we still weren't in charge. So they were still going and seeing that maybe our mindset, because we were so brainwashed, to think that they're still the rulers over us. So it felt like we weren't ever in charge when we was over here. The black man weren't in charge.
We were in charge for a little bit. After slavery, we were in charge. Mm-hmm. They just destroyed our communities and everything. They came through and ravaged everything. Then they started promoting government assistance and things like that, promoting people that have kids but not be with the fathers and all of that type of stuff, where people got to make choice between money or family. All of that type of stuff played a factor, I think, into this.
You emasculate the man,
right?
You make the woman feel like she can do whatever the man can do,
right?
And then you get the children while they're young and influence them. That's how they work with the community. It's whoever.
So do you,
Willie Lynch?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Even with slavery, like I'm sure they had psychologists and shit behind that shit, like saying, "Oh, do this to them," like and the rest will fall in line. You know what I'm saying?
So we're all about being fair and seeing which side is which. So it wasn't really all the woman's fault. It's that brain. It wasn't, and I can't always say that. It's nobody's fault. So I teeter on what she's saying. It's like it has to be both. because you can't go around like, oh, you just choose money, you just choose this, but you don't know what was going through the women's minds. You don't know what was going on.
I think she's saying we don't know what was going through any of our minds.
Right.
We were
At
like
all.
fucked up. Yeah, right. I mean, you just take the like when it comes to the brainwashing, and we touched on this before. It's like on the holiday episode, like we touched on it. Like once you learn and you got all this and you want to separate, or like you go to tell somebody else that this not serving you, now what? Where do I go? What do I do? So when you had slavery, this real oppression for so long, and then it's like, all right, you free, just go. Right? You can go wherever. It's like, I don't know what's out there. I know what's here. I know what's been, you know what? Like, I'm still gonna call you master. I'm still gonna stay here because at least I got a shelter. I know what's going on. You know, I know that, you know, my family, if I created a family or stuck to a family, my family's right here. Like, at least they're in front of me. So when it came to the releasing of slaves, a lot of them didn't go nowhere. You know, and then you said, like, you brought up that we had got to us. Right.
Black Wall Streets, multiple.
So what happened?
Right.
What do you think happened? that separated that? You think it was more of our fault or more of the women's fault?
To me, it's society, bro. It's the way
society
is set up. You gotta choose family or money now. You know what I'm saying?
No, you choose it, but you have to. So that means you just said it. You have to choose. So
you have to.
Whose fault was it to make that decision?
But it shouldn't be a decision.
It should be a decision.
No.
That's how the world works.
No.
That is how the world works.
Yeah, that's the problem.
You give people options and they pick those options.
No, I'm talking about like family or money should not be an option. Family and money.
But it is an option.
I'm saying it shouldn't be an option.
In today's
a lot of
society.
things should be, but this is how it is.
But I'm not going to choose family or money.
No.
I'm going to have my family and we're going to make money.
Exactly. That proves my point. Then why they picked either or? We could have done both. That's you just said it.
But you can go back to what he just said about freeing slaves and why was it fucked up afterwards. And speaking back to what Trey said about adaptability,
right?
People started adapting based on their environment. So and we've just been doing that
right
for the last 400 years, and that's why we're like.
And slavery never ended. It was like, okay, like when it was abolished,
right?
How else can we still uphold this? You know, that's why they're still talking about oppression. That's why we still have modern day slavery, because I got control of your mind. That's why you talk about the brainwashing. It's like, okay, well, you know, like critical things, like NASA still, you know, probably nutted off and one of the wives, and then it's like, I know I said it terribly, the wrong nigga came out. But
this ain't for kids. Oh.
But you know, like, and then it's like, what I'm supposed to do now? I still love her, but she was, you know, like I was in a position where I couldn't defend that, but we going through abortion if that was a thing at that time. So it's like, it's like you just imagine the
decisions,
the types of traumas that they really had to like endure, try to go through, and then just to be able to be sane enough to stay together and try. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was not just decades, but centuries of like mental turmoil.
Still can't waver off too much on it, especially when it came to the point you said about picking. Well, you said the same thing about money or family. No, I can't give him a lot of grace to that. Not 100%, because you had to either pick the money or either have the husband in the house, your own husband or man in the house. You can't have that.
Get the welfare.
And I don't care about no brainwashing or anything like that, because by that time we were free. It wasn't that long ago. I will never let off that you will be able to pick that money over your husband or that man in the house. I can't give you no
brainwashing tactic.
I don't want to hear that. And you can't pick. And you can't. Everybody has their own brain. You can't give excuses for something that serious. For a few, and welfare is not even a lot of money. It's not. Think about I can't give it to everybody that it's okay. I'm gonna give you your excuse to say you brainwashed. You pick that money over that man and kick him out. No, I can't see. I can't give you that.
I wouldn't say brainwash that was their decision.
So that's a bad decision.
The brainwashing part is who gave them this decision to make. And when they gave him that decision, you look at a woman who doesn't have a man, choose a man or money.
The rules were, if you had a man in the house, you think all the women didn't have a man? Most of the women had men. So when they looked in, they'd be like, no, you can't be able to get this check. I'm not going to stand for that. You can't do that. You wouldn't do that. You're a good man. You wouldn't even let that happen. If your woman had said that to you, you would be like, that's crazy. You're supposed to pick him over money. No, I would never excuse that.
But we come from a history of broken families. You know what I'm saying? Like, from our slavery times, one of the things they did to make sure they get control over the slaves, they separate the husband and the wives. They separate the kids to strip away that power, that family connection.
Demasculate the man, beat the man in front of him, and show him that, he ain't shit, basically. And then it's like, damn, like, he can't protect me, he can't do that. And it's like, it just keeps on going.
And to get back to what she's saying, that's what she's saying. We don't understand the effects slavery. We still learning the effects that slavery had on us to now.
When it comes to the welfare, she spoke on it. Like, when women are happiest in a relationship, or she's like, why does black women seem to think that the relationship is happy, is a good relationship when she's happy, like, and everything like that. So that goes back to the welfare thing. Like, women just trying to figure out how to make themselves happy, I guess. And money.
I'm trying to find a reason. You can't.
Because I agree with you, but then I don't agree with you.
I understand it's traumas, but when it comes to us getting to the welfare, that was still the 19th century. That's further. When it comes to money now, it's too far long. I can't fathom that because our parents were during that age. It wasn't that long, so you can't still blame. Oh, that was back to slavery 4 years ago. I picked money.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're not trying to blame.
That's what
I'm saying. Like, it never ended. Like, the term slavery abolished. Okay, as far as documentation, you're free, but it never ended. You still had segregation. You still had, Emmett Till and all of that stuff. Like, you still shown that you're 1/3 of a, 1/3 of a man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's still programming. It's still continuing, even to this day. When the cops come, you feel uncomfortable. That's because they already know that you're a target. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still programmed. It's still going.
Slavery was just like kind of a damage done deal.
Right.
And we have so much more work to do to get back to where we.
And they're still working. They're still working against us. They're still working towards the ploy of the separation of the black family because they're strengthening unity. They're strengthening us coming together. This community, they don't want that. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want that. You think the women didn't want that?
At that point, because you pick money, I'm going to stay right on it. I'm not going to justify you picking money over having the father in the house.
Let me ask you a question. Why do you think they pick money over having the father in the house? Why do you think they pick money? They got kids, they trying to raise kids. They got the option to have the dad around for the kids, but then they choose money. Why do you think they chose money then?
We make them give up on their husbands. Not husbands, not all of them were married. I can't say everybody was married.
On that man in the house.
Yeah, the man on the house.
But
they saying, oh, white people money is better than your black husband at home. That's what I'm saying.
So that's what we talking about, huh? We so used to people doing stuff for us instead of doing for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, why we don't have more people, why people stay on a job they can't stand because they feel like they got to do it because they don't even want to take the chance to go out and try to do something on their own. Just like with the man and the wife, the husband and wife, or boyfriend, girlfriend, they have a kid together. Right. Now they be like, you can take this guaranteed money that you get every single month as long as you have this kid, or you can take the father being around and see what happens.
Exactly. They should pick. Why do you think some run around saying
because
y'all allowing it and saying it's okay because you went through that drama? No, I'm not saying that no more.
No,
so why are they saying it now?
This is what I think why they choose it.
They're still saying it. Why are they saying it?
I'm gonna address why I think they choose the money over.
Yeah, that part. Yeah.
I think they really feel like they're making the best decision for them and their kids. That's what I really do. I genuinely feel like that. I don't think they.
And who's telling them not to? Who's telling them they're wrong?
And nope, and that's
what I'm saying.
But we don't see.
I'm not letting it off. They're wrong. So
we don't see it. I'm not judging. I'm not going to judge.
Who's to say they're wrong? Because you ain't gonna say it. You said you ain't gonna say it because they went through trauma. So you're not gonna say it.
I never said that. I wasn't gonna say
that.
But
you're not saying it. Who's?
Because I don't.
Are they wrong for saying it?
For saying what? For
They
choosing
don't-
the money
they-
over
yeah.
the
Are they
over
wrong
the
for
guy?
saying it?
I'm not gonna say they're wrong.
Are you wrong? They wrong to saying songs? They don't owe things around
What
here that
is
says
wrong here is the fact that they was proposed this decision. It shouldn't have never been a decision that they had to
And
make.
that's really
That's the brainwashing part that I'm talking about. Like, okay, how can we furthermore separate? Oh,
money.
Let me give you some money. You know, you just gotta leave him to the side. Oh, how much? How much we talking? You know, we'll give you enough. Well, and we even give you WIC because you know you don't even gotta worry about groceries.
Right.
Oh,
food stamp.
Oh, okay. Well,
taxes
now,
every year you get about $3,000-$4,000 for the
now,
kid.
now, since we done put this
kid.
bug in there, now it's like, can he really? No, I'm really suffering and we're struggling, but you're not focusing on the building. And then it's like, okay, well, and it's not all just towards the female either.
It's a two-side equation.
Right.
Because one side, women, why you choosing the money over your guy?
That's we never asked that.
But then the other side is, well, if they really believe that they man could do better than that, then I don't think they would choose the money.
I was about to get to that. Think about where welfare is
prevalent.
It's prevalent.
Yeah, exactly.
In poor communities, so it's probably 9 times a bunch of James from Good Times ass niggas can't provide.
But James was a beast. I know what you're saying.
I'm making light of a serious situation. You know what I'm saying?
James.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's why I love, bro. You breaking it up.
That's an example, though. That's a strong man. They were still together. They had 3 kids. And had community, and he led, and there was discipline, there was structure.
He's on the show.
He went out. I'm talking about James.
Just period.
I'm talking about James, though.
62 cents an hour.
You know what I'm saying?
But I get what Keith's saying though. Like a lot of people don't want to live that basic lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? A woman
basic lifestyle.
Poverty.
Ghetto.
Hold on, I'm trying to figure what you mean.
You talking about? We using the example from James from Good Times.
Oh, okay. I thought you thought it was receiving that money was being.
But what a woman is saying, is instead of having a guy around and living that way, I could not have you around and just get that money and it'd be easier on me.
And that's horrible.
And
that was a horrible
decision.
It's
exactly because if you was
no, you can't say that's human.
That's human, bro.
That's not human.
We're talking about mindset. Issue is the fact that decision was proposed, and it like you don't have to what you pay attention to is what's going to affect you the most, in my opinion. The fact that you paid attention to, I can choose this or I can choose this, and it starts to weigh on the family, you know, because now I'm fighting for you either not for us to stay together, for us not to break, and I'm still facing the oppression because at that time they're taking away jobs, not allowing jobs. You know, you being black was the same way of you having a felon. You know what I'm saying? Being a felon, I'm not hiring this nigga. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And then it was for you to go for when this came into play, even back in the 90s, for a black person to really create something, they had to go through so much more. For them to even get a house, you know what I'm saying? For them to be in a specific area, everything was segregated. And everything was the impoverished stuff was thrown to us or allowed for us. They didn't even want us to have the poverty stuff, you know what I'm saying? And it's so much behind it. That's why she said, I agree, that we don't really know the impact and the traumas that stem from slavery. And before then too, you know what I'm saying? We had a lot going on before that. So it is brainwashing into it because, like I said, who proposed these questions?
And the other thing I do want to mention, it wasn't always a choice between money and family. You know what I'm saying? Currency, it wasn't always around. You know what I'm saying? We used to, now, we're not talking about modern society or whatever, but money wasn't always around.
Right.
Now, once money got introduced into societies, and then as we started to evolve and develop, those decisions became more critical towards your way of living and your lifestyle.
Saying slavery never ended.
Right.
Because we still slaves up here.
It's up here.
To a fucking dollar.
It's like somehow, some way, I gotta control their man. You control the man.
I understand.
You control the body.
I'm still on your side. You be so.
No. I'm not saying that to be on nobody's side, and I want to keep what I said at the beginning up front, it's on both sides.
It is.
It's on men and women. But I'm still going to double down on some of the times when it comes to women because it's not pushed out enough. We do a lot of improvement on us, but on sometimes I'm going to shed a light to it. And I'm going to stand 10 toes on that where most time you should have picked family over money. I can't see that happening 100% of the time. Sometimes, yes, it's not 100%. Sometimes, yeah, I can understand the situation where she would pick that. But most time, no. I'm never going to get my foot off of that. And everybody has their own opinion. And for anything that a man does, we hold him down. But when it's for women, it's always some kind of more excuses than what the man was. And I can't go off of that.
Sister Ali about to do that for us. So.
Exactly.
Why not take up for us? Why not write something that says we...
Exactly. That's the type right there. See, that right there. Anytime you go, that's the problem. Every time you say something, it happens. Yes, put it right there. Anytime it makes me upset where it's not right. I'm going to stay right on it because it takes both men and women. Every time we say something bad about women, well, what about, you should be on our side. We should say something about, no, we're staying right here. We're going to stay right here. We're going to get it done. No, she'll continue
and we've always had books about black women, how great and how strong we are, and we are that. I'm just saying that we have used our strength in the wrong direction. We have used it against our men instead of standing up for them. And if we start to support our men and...
All right, I wanted to stop it right there because, what she's saying, it don't get promoted. Because I've been coming around, but the question is, why is it not getting promoted? It's plenty of
because we have a bunch of men that don't want to do it.
What do you mean?
I'm saying yes because every time we try to bring it up, we try to bring it back to the men. That's the reason why it's not shown a lot of people because nobody wants to talk about it and they're angels. No, we're messed up. They're messed up too. We need to go on their side and go on some messed up stuff too. Every time we go to it, but it goes to no. We're staying right here. That's the problem. And everybody's scared to say it.
You just went in a circle.
No, I didn't. He said, well, the reason why we don't talk about it because certain people don't want to talk about it.
Well, who is the certain people that got the power to keep us from talking about it?
We have the power.
And I think
we don't control the media, bro.
Oh,
what's being put out there, bro?
No, what's put out there is what you'll buy. They only put on TV what you will watch and what you will buy. If you don't like it, then don't watch it.
Because people like violence, people like division,
controversy.
Exactly. So if you don't like it, then don't put on there.
Yo, how much time we got, yo? How much time we got?
Wrap us up real quick.
This real quick. Why we don't see the black family sitcoms like how we used to? You know what I'm saying? The Family Matters, the Fresh Prince, all of that stuff, the Cosby Show. Why we don't see all of that?
That's a good question.
But we see the real Housewives and Atlantas and all of that stuff. It's deliberate.
Oh, I know why. No, it's not. It's not deliberate. You tell me that you can't walk down the street and see the same women that's on Love and Hip Hop. You say you can't say the same weeds, the same eyebrows. That means no. There we go. No, I don't want to. No, I'm tired of that, bro. They do that because there's already women out here just like it.
It's always been women like that, though.
Exactly. So they only can promote what they see.
Negative.
So you saying that you got people out here forcing people to put wigs and eyebrows on all that stuff and being drama. You can't see that stuff on
they're putting
Instagram.
That under the category of beauty. They're trying to be beautiful. So
what time we got? Yo?
Right. Hold on.
We'll go back to back.
Anchor is a podcast platform that we are on. The FMF Podcast is on and available to you right now. We have a goal with that one. We're trying to reach over 50 listeners. So if you're busy and you can't sit here and watch the video episodes, please go to Anchor and just check it out. And you can listen to us on the go.
All right, we back after a short break. G, you good? I see you've been pressing the pull table.
Hey.
You was pacing around and everything.
It's on break. I got paced back and forth and got my mind together. I'm good, man. Everything good, man. That's why I love these brothers right here. They bring it out.
Yes.
Bring it out.
Yes.
Different perspectives, different ways. I like it. I like it.
Yeah. Let's get back to the video.
To convince us that not only do we not need a man, but there's some other options to having one. And those options mainly are celibacy or lesbianism.
There's an old saying that says, charity begins at home and spreads abroad. And
Absolutely.
in your book, you say that we are not bringing up our daughters and our sons in a correct manner to respect their fathers.
No, we're not. unfortunately, as I say, since money has been used as the measure, many times if a black man does not have money to give us, we won't even let him see his children. We won't let him spend any time with it because he does not give us whatever the child support is. And I'm not saying that we don't need money to raise a child, but I try to explain to black women that raising a child consists of much more than feeding, clothing, and sheltering it. That's maintaining one.
See, and that hits that point we were talking about.
Exactly.
That hits that point exactly right.
Because that's what I was saying. I don't think women do it to like spite a man to choose the money over the man. They just think, oh, finance, money. We can pay for this, pay for that. And that's what she's saying is more that we bring to the table than just, the providing aspect, the discipline, all the stuff she talked about earlier. And that's the stuff, that's the reason why we need to get back to promoting our black men and our good qualities and everything, and what we can provide to people other than money, so they understand that, we got more to offer than just the money, but we still got to bring the money to the table.
Exactly.
We still got to bring it to the table.
That's
we talked about that. When we look for a woman, the first thing that we look at is the looks, and then we go off of her personality, what she should do for us, all that other stuff. Our first thing with men, all men, we look at how they look first. All right, cute, boom, and then all the good stuff comes. It's usually be backwards for the woman. First, they supposed to go off of, can he provide, can he do anything like that, and then it goes to the second part, because it doesn't work the other way. I mean, he could be good looking, but if he ain't working or doing nothing, it ain't gonna happen. But if we reverse the other way, it can happen.
I think they still do. That's why the guy with the chains, the cars, all of that stuff,
and then most of the time,
instantly provide.
Yep, they go off of that first.
But then they don't take the time to go deeper and be like, yo, how's he with raising a kid? How's he with like discipline? Does he just let the kids do whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like all of that stuff still come with it. They just automatically go to provide, boom, baby. Now they like, oh well, he don't do all of this stuff. Well, you didn't take the time to get to know him and figure out all this stuff.
You just like him because he smelling good and whatever he's doing.
He got the nice car, he got the Maserati and all that.
Because he's adhering to the look of what what it shows that it's a successful person, or at least like got something. You know what I'm saying? So that's why if you ain't wearing nowadays it's not the same. We're bringing the change, because you don't have to have name brands and all that stuff that still look the part, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you ain't got to go that way.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You got, as a man, you carry yourself in a different way. Like all of us, our posture is straight. We up. We can speak. It's coming from the chest. You know what I'm saying? Like those types of things, and those things stand apart from the guy who looks flashy and looks like he got some, and could be faking it to get it. And then it's like so much in that realm. It's so many. I think it's what I call it. It's imagery.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because what are you really looking for? That's why I always like, when it comes to the guys, I always be like, what do you need money for? And they just like, I just want money. What do you need money for? You know what I'm saying? Put the why behind it, and then you can measure how much you actually need. You know what I'm saying? Because money is infinite. You never have enough. You know what I'm saying? Never. So how much do you actually need for what you're actually going for? Like that's my mentality, and I had to bring that towards a lot of the guys, because it's just, as like you said, society. It's just money, and it's whoever got the money is the one who's the victor. And it's like, well, like I said, money is infinite.
Makes a lot of sense. Let's get into
real quick. That kind of makes sense of what we were talking about before we went to break, on the heatedness of like why women choosing welfare over the man, because money is the provider. You know what I'm saying?
Money is the provider.
That's what they look at. That's a good way to put it, Keith.
Money is the provider, not the man.
See what's going on. That's a real big problem. We got to fix that up. Let's see what else. Sister Shahrazad Ali talking about. Let's jump right back.
The return of the parental coalition of the father and the mother to put the proper values into the child. Many of our boys, when we raise them alone, they grow up with the female emotional mechanism. They are are suspicious, they are doubtful, they're disrespectful of womanhood, they are bitchy, they can't make a decision. And many of our girls who grow up in a home where there's no man present, they go out into the world and try to mate. They don't have any idea how to live with a man day to day, how to prepare a proper meal, how to be a mother, how to just be in love in the home. Most of what our people and our children especially have learned about how you have a relationship, they learned off of television. And television doesn't represent our needs. And so a lot of the confusion has come, from outside agencies that we have not recognized just how detrimental it has been to us as a people.
Can I play devil's advocate for just a moment?
Well, I wish you wouldn't, but I know you must.
Yo, she is wild.
Back to the programming.
Yo, I'm telling you, it's a reason we see even a bigger break in the family, and now we don't got like I said, the Cosby's, all the shows we grew up on. I don't know
Cosby's was
college kids and all that.
Late mid-80s, I think.
Late 80s.
Then you had the Fresh Prince.
Yeah, Family Matters.
You know what I'm
saying?
A different world. I know what you mean. All
the family stuff. So now we look, and I think the only one I can think of, I remember we had My Wife and Kids for a little bit.
But that
was like early 2000s. And then Blackish is the only one I can think of.
But that means that it goes in that positive way. They actually saw that black family. They saw black families on TV. So, but it was the same thing going on. That was only for a period, though. That was for a real period. You're right, because that was just only for the 80s and right there.
Exactly.
We ain't seen nothing before then. Of course, the
good times.
20s. Good times.
Oh, no, not the 20s. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm talking about, from that time.
Yeah.
Now, I understand that program where you're saying from that point, of course, way before TV and all that stuff. But then once that line started to get to the point where we started to see us get more money, Black Wall Street, stuff like that, that's when things should be turning that way.
But that's
it did. That's when we start seeing the Jeffersons, all of that. That was not too far from that era.
Exactly. But now we're getting to a point where we're right here in 91, and we're still having the same exact things going on now in 2022. So now, since we've seen this stuff now, are we still having those same exact excuses now than we had back in the slavery and back in 50 and 40s? But she's talking about this in 91. That's still around the times we're still learning. Are we having the same exact excuses now in 2022?
What do you mean excuses?
As far as the programming and stuff like that.
It's not an excuse. If you want to go
the program.
Well, maybe I shouldn't say excuse. A reason.
The programming is advanced from that point.
Exactly.
Instagram,
right?
Twitter, all these social media. Get the kids while they're young.
You know what I mean?
You got to for a long ass time.
0 to 7.
It sounds like an excuse, but that's what it is.
They wouldn't do it. The same thing is
They're trying to keep the suppression.
What did the young lady say? The one that Sister Shahrazad Ali was arguing. She said it very clearly. She said that when women, she said the same thing that I was kind of saying when she said women are out of control when it comes to they don't need kids, all that stuff that's going on right now. She said that yes, because they're getting paid to do it. She worked for the OWN network. And she left the OWN network because they want to keep promoting this over and over again.
That's open.
You're right, programming. But the thing is, she quit because she didn't want to do it because they said the black women were out of control because they're getting paid to do it. Again, it comes to your choice and what they see and what they want to do. You need to put a fire to the people that are on the networks and stop watching it. It is programming.
Yeah.
But you're getting paid to do it. So that means you have a choice. Right now, you have a choice to do networks and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So there's still responsibility on the women that are actually doing it, getting paid for. So you can't, that's still another excuse. She left because they're getting paid to do it. She stood up and said, I'm not standing beside because he's getting tired of women saying yeah to this.
I'm going to go back to what he said, man. Especially women view money as providers now, yo. So if you throw them,
that's wrong, right?
Yeah, it definitely is because
that's where we're at.
But if you're telling a woman to choose between, I can make $100,000 for doing this reality TV show,
real quick,
and then, or be with the child father.
Say no.
It's a decision.
No, I'm not giving them no excuse. Say no.
I hear what you're saying.
I hear exactly what I'm saying. Say no. Just how I say no to everything that is wrong.
You different.
Not everything is wrong. I don't mean to say that everything is wrong, but I have a conscience, and most people do. These are good men right here. Very good men, and they make awesome decisions. So they have the decision to say yes or no. And I hold them accountable. They hold me accountable the same exact way. That means that we need to hold the other side accountable the same exact way.
Agreed. But, bruh, it's not out there like that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, we got a lot of yes men. Like I said, so it's so much. Like, I agree with you. But it's so much packed in for the mass group of us that, again, you can't even, like, you don't even realize that you're being proposed this option. You know what I'm saying? It's like, go to work or go to school. Well, you could start a business. That was never an option, though. You know what I'm saying?
In that instance, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's never proposed. So
in that instance, that kind of makes, okay, so you're saying that to pick this or pick that,
right?
They don't know the third option. That's what you're saying. Okay, they don't know a third option. They just only see those two instead of seeing a better option. They don't see
That's what's promoted. That's the mental manipulation.
If I knew what I knew today, I would never went to college.
Never went to college. I still got student loans too.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
My mom raised me. All she said, military or college. I ain't going to the fucking military. Don't know why I'm going.
But still, shout out to the veterans. Appreciate
it.
But dang, okay. Okay, now I can see a little bit on that side.
Right, it's mental manipulation, man. Like when somebody proposes a choice to you, your mind automatically is gonna focus on these two choices. So you got to go against the grain to be able to be like, okay, what do I really want? How can I get that? What else is out there? What are the other options? Because even, and I know I'm different, but even when I was in school and doing like the test with the ABCD, and I'm like, none of this seems right. You know what I'm saying? I would choose, like F. You know what I'm saying? I would choose F, but that's not an option. Which one of these?
Yeah.
And it's like, and then if you choose the wrong one according to who's grading it, now you're wrong, now you're failing, now you're categorized as this or that, and who holds that? You know what I'm saying? Still mental manipulation, it's still slavery. You know what I'm saying? They just changed their methods. You know what I mean? And that's what it's like. The mindset, the mind is a powerful thing. And once you get control of that thing, your pops preached it. Nobody can hold you down. You know what I'm saying? But you don't even realize that this is something that you got to get in control of. And like, life is so reactionary versus, you taking the initiative. You know what I mean?
True. People don't realize, like, yo, we kind of like zombies. We just do everything we told to do.
For the most part.
You know what I'm saying?
I think to go back to that point where you said one with the programming and the other when you had asked who should hold the women accountable. We can't do it 100% like you did. 100% can't. But we need more women like this to go on that side to say stop doing this, and more women like Ayana that said that we need to. She quit. She didn't take the check to say this, so she needs to get more people behind her, other women like her, to stand up and say we're not going to do those type of shows and stuff like that. But there's always going to be a lane for that, and there's always going to be millions of dollars for that.
But it's not.
So that's
promoted.
something that can't be like that.
Yeah,
exactly. They shamed her to crap.
Right.
She can't even do it. She's not even doing much because she stood up and said that.
Right. Look at Monique. She just said y'all don't need to be wearing bonnets and stuff.
They cursed her out.
Exactly. Almost everything that she's built up.
She been blackballed.
She was the blackest. She was the black queen. She was everything. So she said one thing wrong that maybe y'all should stop taking off y'all bonnet. Cancel her. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
See what I'm talking about?
It's overly supported and promoted.
Right.
You know
that's
what
why I say the power of the networks, man.
But nobody can. That proves it. Nobody can tell her what to do. Nobody can tell you what to do. You just do whatever. And we stop them excuses. You can't just be like, oh, you can't tell them what to do. Oh, we get canceled because the women said that. No, you're wrong.
Right.
More people should still behind Monique on that jump.
Right. But, and then the people who do stand firm and behind that stuff, it's like, I ain't about to go back and forth and arguing with a bunch of, whatever.
Exactly.
So most of us who are solid and firm and know right from wrong and know that we're not speaking.
Right.
It's pointless. We know it. We got it. So we carry it. So.
And not only that,
we're gonna get back to it, man.
Real quick. Let me make this last point. If you're going to stand for something, you can't be money motivated.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta be purpose driven and go after your purpose. But if you money motivated, wherever the money at, that's where you're gonna go.
That's where you're gonna stand.
So if you're gonna really stand for something, you can't be motivated.
Let's jump back
money.
into this jump because we've been going.
Right.
I
know, bro. We only had 12.
I know what I'm saying.
What if I am a good wife? His home is clean. His kids are fed. I'm making sure they're well educated. I help them with their homework. I'm a good lover in bed. I help him with the finances. And I say, look at that. He still took a walk.
Well, that's something else that's been confused about my book. I advise black men and black women. I certainly tell men that if you are with a woman who you have been with for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, 6 months, 2 weeks, whatever it is, and that woman refuses to cooperate with your ideas, does not want to get with your program of right, whatever it is, then I tell those men, get rid of that woman and get another one. And I tell black women the same thing. If you are with a man that you cannot be in agreement with, then get rid of him and get with a man that you can be in agreement with. If the man you're with is not treating you the way that you want him to, and you feel that you have put in enough time to demonstrate your commitment and your sincerity of efforts to try to make the relationship work, I don't tell people to just stay in that relationship. I'm trying to teach us that we waste a lot of time being angry with each other and being dissatisfied in relationships. Get out of it and get with one where you can be happy.
You see.
Yo. You're right.
I did say that.
Bro,
you just said that.
I don't waste time with people.
You just said that. That's crazy.
And I swear y'all never said.
And we never seen this show yet. Never seen it.
Yo, that's it, man.
That's it.
Like, you gotta get in line with people's purpose, and if you can't get in line with the purpose, then you need to go on somewhere else and don't be wasting time with people, man. Like, yo, cause it'll be so much easier for each person to cooperate if y'all on the same vision, that same wavelength, instead of trying to pull somebody or force somebody to come along with you. Leave that person and go get somebody that will be willing to come with you on your journey, instead of trying to just sit around just because they pretty or they might got a lot of money or whatever. She just said, why waste time being angry with each other, yo?
Exactly.
Like, yo, that's perfect, yo.
Exactly, man.
Oh, man. We're going to get back into it.
Yeah. Know what I'm saying?
Let's get back into it.
That's something that was almost accidental, I'd have to say. See, the white woman has been the only mentor that we have had of a female. We've seen her every day of our life on television, every magazine, every newspaper, every commercial. You know, it's just been her face, her body, her image, whatever it has been in front of us. And so today we have the results of that. We have black women who are trying to dye their hair blonde, who are wearing blue and green contacts in their eyes, you know, who wear tons and tons of layers of makeup, who have changed their voice, who have hair weaves so they can have flowing long hair blowing in the wind, you know, like Brooke Shields or somebody, you know. And so that's been an accident. And as a result of us doing that, we have also adopted the women's liberation movement goals of wanting to be liberated from the man and have some kind of pseudo-equality, when while that may be true of the white woman and her plight with the white man, that's not really the black woman's business, because we haven't been under the control of the black man for over 500 years. So what do we have to be liberated from him from?
Is there something wrong with trying to make yourself...
That right there. It shut that shit a whole light on exactly what I said earlier. They 100% they think that we've never been in charge. We haven't been, because the first thing I saw was they was in charge, and then we got free. We semi got in charge, but we've never been 100% in charge.
They don't want us to be, man.
They don't see it that way. That's why, get back to what she said, we're the only ones that has been disrespected on that type of level. We're the only one. The Chinaman, anybody else, they all know, women know that he's the boss. When it comes to most women, I mean, he may be the boss. He could be the boss. I mean, I'm the boss. Of course, it does happen sometimes. It's not 100%. Come on, it's not 100%. Yeah, but the bulk is mainly our culture. So it's like, it makes a lot of sense when she said that, because it goes back, like I said, from the slavery, and it goes down to still program that still, y'all ain't never been my boss, so why are you thinking I'm my boss now?
And I actually had a good conversation with another intellectual brother that he the one that brought light to this to me when she's mentioned the liberation movement. It was created by white women, and they wanted liberation from the oppression of a white man, that European principle that they bring to it, you know, that...
the feminism part.
Yeah.
They got to that.
Yeah.
So
that was wrong. That Me Too movement was created by white women, and in order to get some power behind it, they added black women.
Ain't nothing to do with y'all.
Exactly. What's the purpose?
Exactly.
What's the purpose?
Let's get back into this, man.
Look better or more appealing?
Well, it depends on what standard you're using as being the goal of looking better. You know, if we think to look better is to put on a ton of makeup and have blue eyes, then there's something wrong with that, you know. But if we think that to look better is to certainly get a better spirit in our heart and to work every day to become a better wife, a better mother, better friend, better sister, then those values and attributes alone will make us more beautiful than we are now.
How do you feel about the fact that Many people accuse you of wanting to see the black woman at a point of submission. Is that where you want to see a black woman in the 1990s?
Well, it depends on how you define submission. Those words have a tendency to have a negative connotation for us because of how they were used against us during slavery and what we connect them to. But actually, the kind of submission that I'm referring to just means cooperation and agreement. I don't think that anybody could say that I represent a woman who is subjugated in any kind of way. I don't think that anybody could say that my personality sounds like some man has me somewhere crawling around on the ground or walking 10 paces behind him. So I'm not representing that. I'm representing strength. I'm saying that we have a lot of power. We have power to make heaven and hell for our men. And I'm saying, let's try making heaven. Let's try to build him up. If a man has his woman behind him, he will believe he can do anything. And all we need to do is to get our men to believe that they can do anything. And he'll be able to, do much better than he's doing now and come out of the pitiful condition he's in. As I said,
Stop it.
Go ahead.
All right, look.
Woo, that was good.
We talked about this on the toxic masculinity episode. How when we get that feminine energy from a woman, we turn to Superman.
Yeah.
She motherfucking spit.
And then she clearly put it because all of the laughs that we had when we was going back and forth with the other females before we even did the FMF laughs, we was going on each other's laughs.
Yeah.
And the females would come on and talking about submission. I'm not submitting to any old man, but you're supposed to submit to a man. And so that's what I like, because that's what I was like, y'all got a negative connotation of submission. Like, y'all think that's submission.
I think they hear the word submission and think about a wrestling move. Like, we got them in the fucking sleep.
I want to tell you something, because I used to go back and forth with y'all about the woman should submit to me and all that. But when she put it like this, even when you first, it's cooperation. You should always be cooperative. Because one of the things I always told y'all, like, on the first date, y'all want the woman to submit to you. Remember, I was talking to y'all about that. But we talking about this type of submission. Yeah, she should be cooperative on the first date. You know what I'm saying? Like,
show you the pattern.
Exactly. So, like, with that, then we on agreement.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We got Paul.
Yeah. We on agreement. Exactly. We on agreement with that. We should be cooperative.
And a part of what she said earlier was like things go wrong, or she says that some women are upset because they're not doing what she wants him to do. Mm-hmm. So sometimes not even the submission is just like he wants you to submit and go this certain way, but you don't want to do it because she thinks her way is right.
Right.
So that's what it goes into. There's different ways when it comes to submission. Some women think, like you said, it's like it's the you got to stand behind him. No, yes sir, no sir. Mister, that's not submission. Mm-hmm. That's not what nobody was ever talking about. I don't know where they got that from. It's just that I know we need to go. We need to get things straight. You just as important. I'm just making the final decision. You are value counsel. Y'all, it's just that all it is she is value counsel. I don't make a decision. I'm just not 100%. I do everything. I get what you got to say. Okay, cool. But I make the last decision. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Thank you for your advice. That's all it is. But they just don't understand that, man. Get back to it.
I'm not exonerating him. I'm just saying that all of that strength that we have, let's use it in a more positive way instead of just going for self. Nobody told us that all of that being my own person and I'm independent would lead to separation and loneliness. But that's what we had to trade for that. In order to have certain kinds of success, we had to give up the man because we can't find a man who will compete with us on that level. As I said, we say he can't handle us or he's intimidated by the fact I make more money than him. I think that by judging our men on how much money he makes, we have lost a lot of good men. Because as black women, if we decide that all of us are going to just determine whether or not we're going to have a man based on how much money he makes, then none of us have no man.
But
because most black men don't have no money.
There are many men
not a lot of money.
There are many men out there who don't want a woman.
That's absolutely true.
Who is not gainfully employed.
That's
just
true.
Works both ways.
And one of the things that I have...
Not true. Keep going.
Which part you talking about ain't true?
She said most men don't want a woman that's not gainfully employed.
No, she said a lot of men.
A lot of men.
A lot of men don't want
a woman that's not gainfully employed.
Right, meaning she bring her own money.
Yeah.
Does that matter to you?
I want her to be able to take
care of
show
herself.
she can take care of herself.
Yes.
Yeah, but you ain't gotta be.
But you ain't gotta like.
You ain't gotta be.
Like 100,000.
No,
Right.
it's not the same. It's not the same.
Yeah.
measure. As long as she take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Other than that, you ain't gotta have Benzes and all that other stuff. And as
I'ma-
long as I show
I'ma
you can
tell
take
you.
care of yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I can rock with you because that means
I'm gonna tell you, all right,
What you
because
think?
I've been through this experience and I'm now married, and this is a foundation that I established for my marriage. Is we both got to be able to uphold this. All right, we are working towards something, but where we're at, if anything was to happen to me, you need to be able to uphold and sustain so that I can get on my feet and get back to it. Or, you know what I'm saying, same vice versa, if anything was to happen to you, so that this structure doesn't just fall apart. You know what I mean? So yes, I need you to be able to do a certain amount or be able to provide anything that we got, you know, at this level. You know what I mean? We both came together, but if either one of us was to stop working, it wouldn't take us out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and that's important because I've lost the job. I've been fired. You know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's been times where one side wasn't bringing in income. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I think it's important for the woman to be, you know, able to carry on, at least to a certain extent,
Have the
and
ability to.
have the ability to, and that's why y'all say come together, like get your finances together, and I agree, but I don't think that happens most of the time. I think y'all need to be able to build. So when it comes to that foundation in my marriage, it's like, okay, what do we need? What do we need to look at? And we're both putting towards saving. We're both putting towards these goals that we set. So again, if anything was to happen, now we're not going to just crash. We can stay afloat while things, you know, getting shit together. So it's a
Everybody
lot.
has different angles.
Yeah.
Everybody has different angles.
I understand that. The way she said that, I just didn't want her. She put it to where it's probably like she said a lot of men are like that.
Right.
I think it's maybe, I don't know.
I think we just want them to be able to take care of themselves.
I like it as yourself.
Yeah.
It's just yourself. That's all. I'm good. I handle the rest.
Yeah.
I just want to.
Raven, is that for my lectures, which you know I do all over the country, so I can give black people some ease and take some of the hysteria out of our communities that the book seems to have caused. I have security guards, not because of black women. We're going to do just what we do. We're going to fuss and we're going to cuss or do a little something, you know. But I have it because of black men. Because the black man's guide to understand the black woman puts the black man on point. And it reminds him what he has allowed to happen to his woman and his family. Many black men become intimidated. They don't want to take responsibility for their women. They don't want the challenge. They don't want to be put on point. So they become overwhelmed. And it's them that go off. That's why I have security. Because most men know that this book puts the black man on point. It just talks about what slavery has done to the black woman, but it's really telling him what he has allowed to happen.
Let's go back to the book for just a moment. According to you, there are 3 types.
The real valuable part for the woman, like she said, to keep us on point.
I like how she going back and forth. I love it. I
Call
love
it-
it.
I knew
She,
you were.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's what I like about her so far.
Both
Is
sides.
she's hammered down on the women, then she go right back to the men, then she go for the men, right back to the women. She giving it both of us messed up.
Yeah.
That's what I like. This is right here what I like. Not just on one side. She ain't giving no excuses to either one of them. She's like, yo, you messed up, you messed up. We need to get it together. I like that. I like it.
Yo, the being on point part, man, is what got me. Is because in my last relationship, like I think I talked about it before on here or on my podcast, but how having that woman that's on that same wavelength and I remember she told me, and one of the big reasons I became an entrepreneur and left my job, she called me out. She was just like, yo, you've been doing good in business and things like that, and going to work might be taking away money from you. Why haven't you gone? Do you not believe in yourself? I believe in you,
And that make you feel some.
And I was like, damn, you right. And then I had to start putting plans in place, and then I execute on the plans, and then like it's been over a year. I've been working for myself and everything. But that conversation was like that catalyst to be like, yo, damn, you right. I can't.
Nothing can make a man move.
Like
Exactly,
woman,
man.
It's
Exactly.
hard to me.
Even Martin Luther King, he wouldn't have done that speech. He was supposed to do another speech instead of the I Have a Dream.
I didn't know that.
I
Well,
remember that. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was a woman that stood out in the crowd, and it was a strong woman who said, "You better speak." She knew the speech that he wanted, and he was questioning because the supporters, the promotion and stuff, it was white people trying to control it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Control his message. And that's why as soon as he started talking about money and how to accumulate it, that's when he go ahead and assassinate. Get him out of here. You know what I'm saying?
You know that?
Same way for Nip too.
And I have a dream speech. Why he keep repeating? I have a dream. I heard that he got that from a woman who said a prayer.
Yes.
Like a little while before
one.
that. Yeah, it was the same one. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, she kept, when she said in the prayer, she kept saying, I have a dream, da 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 da. I have a dream. And that's where he got that speech from.
Tripping about the fact that she generally has a big job and a credit card or something, you know.
But don't you want to see black women accomplish something?
Yes, I absolutely do. But if we can't accomplish saving our race, then we have not made an accomplishment. We are looking at our man become endangered. He's already endangered. Over 60% of us are single, widowed, separated, or divorced as of last year. And so we're not together. And there is one monolith in the black community, Raven. If we don't reproduce children, then our nation, our race is going to die out here. And so we sometimes tend to look at black men and say, yeah, they're in this bad condition, and we act like they're going to die out and we're going to live on. But that's not the way it's going to go. If the black man dies, all of us are going to die because he actually is the backbone of our nation. We can't produce a baby by ourselves, and going into other nationalities still just erases, you know, our nation. And I'm trying to get us not to do that.
You have problems with interracial marriages.
Yeah,
Why?
I'm not for that. Well, because of the fact that I think that God made a male and female of every nationality so that they could mate and reproduce. And I think in our particular case, a lot of us try to run to what I call race denial by trying to marry into other nationalities to try to get away from our own heritage. Many black women do that, and certainly many black men do that. So I'm trying to get them to get back together and stop trying to marry and go into other races and infiltrate them with some of the nonsense that we bring as a result of our sad slavery history.
All right, yo. So look, I think that's a great stopping point right there. Because what we want to know is, in the comments section, we want you to put down, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
We want to know, what's your thoughts on interracial relationships? How do y'all feel about it? All of that good stuff. And then also, we got a part 2 to this. We got a part 2 that's coming out. If you want to see part 2, we got to get 30 likes and we got to get at least 10 comments, all right? So, and what we got to do is, how many subscribers we at right now?
At this time,
like 100, right?
Something or 100. Right?
We had 100.
Yeah.
We got to get
we appreciate each and every one of y'all.
Absolutely.
100%. Okay, if it's 10, 20, 100, 10,000, we appreciate y'all always tuning in every Friday with us. 100%.
Absolutely.
We appreciate y'all.
But if y'all want to see part 2, we got to get to 105 subscribers as well, too. So,
you ain't playing with it.
Oh, yeah, they can do it. They can follow. Yo, y'all make sure y'all support us. You know, y'all want to see more reaction videos. Like, I had fun recording this reaction video.
Yeah.
It's different. This is different.
It was good, man. So,
I don't know if we good at it because we only looked at a little bit of it. We got more talking in.
Yeah, but we got the part 2. But we
Yeah.
got the part 2. But if y'all want to see it, y'all got to make sure y'all give us the 30 likes, 10 comments, and we got to get up to 105 subscribers. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe, all right?
Yes,
y'all take care. This has been another episode of the FMF Podcast.
Yeah.
Take it easy. Peace.